I might be the oldest one in this video in this Zoom, because I will be 82 in 10 years. But I was writing that I want to be like, I have two cousins and I want to be like them, because one actually just passed away at 90. The other is 92, physically active, mentally bright. One of them takes a Zumba class every day, a stretching class every day, and I forgot the third one. And they're both healthy and fit and mentally vibrant and active. And I just, as I shared with you, had this new grandchild. So I was writing that I want to still be on the floor playing with my grandchildren in 10 years.
I think that's amazing. And so I love that. I love that hopeful, positive vision. And what I want for you is at this, right, this exercise at the beginning, now when you close your eyes, every time you start to feel fearful, you know, you're grabbing a cookie or you're doing something and you're like in this fear state. Does this mean I'm not going to have that bright future? I want you to like close your eyes and like literally just like, oh, look what happens. If I go as far as I can, we went to here, and now look, I got this. I can do this. 10 years from now, if I'm assured that that's going to be my future, how can I behave today? I can eat that cookie. It's not a big deal. But then I'm going to ask myself, what's wrong, Ellen? What can I do for you today? If you have this future waiting for you, what do you need to get there? So one of the things I wrote down is that I've really worked on my stress, that the next 10 years, my parents are aging. I'm going through marrying two of my kids off. And like my relationship to money has changed to where I really enjoyed making their simchas and I wasn't feeling fearful about money. Like those are things that came up that I really need to work on to be that person. You know, was there anything that came up for you that when you see that version of yourself, you're like, oh, this is something I want to work on because I want to become that person?
I think not just the weight, but physically moving all the time, because that's what keeps, as you age, that's what keeps you strong and healthy and moving, is to keep moving. So I just picturing myself doing those, you know, different I dance a couple of days a week. I pictured myself still teaching Israeli dancing at 82, and just doing all kinds of movement things, because I know those are the things that I need to just keep flexible, and flexibility is what keeps me healthy as I age. And of course, eating healthy and putting the right things in, so I've got the energy to do that.
So anytime you start to get that sense of like overwhelmed about the present problems in the moment, right? Or future tripping. Oh, but what happens if my daughter does this? Or what happens if this happens? And, right? Like, or what happens with my husband? Or what happens with this? Or his health? Or this health? Or this health? Or money? Or all these other things. You know that if you just go take a walk, or if you just stretch down and touch your toes, finding our path to that future comes down to finding those things that are like, if I'm just moving the needle the smallest centimeter in the right direction towards where I want to be in 10 years from now, then it's assured I'm going to be there. I don't have to go there tomorrow. I can take that pressure off. But if I'm moving every day, if I'm just walking extra steps every day, if I'm just turning on a mobility workout from Beachbody On Demand, or from YouTube, or from Yoga with Adrienne, or from whatever place I feel good doing it, if I would do that every day, I know I'm going to become that person, because it's aligned. And what happens is when we find our path, we bring everything else along with it, you know, because we're going for that thing that really symbolizes what health means to us. And like, so for me, then I had to ask myself specifically, well, what weight am I, since we're here talking about weight? And she gave me a number that's like 5 to 7 pounds lower than I am today. And said, like, you know, because of your genetic predisposition to high cholesterol, that like you've come to terms with at this stage of your life, that's where your weight needs to be. At this stage right now, I don't feel that way. But I guess in 10 years from now, I know that that's where I need to be for my health. And I'm okay with that. And so I don't also feel the need that I have to rush to be there tomorrow. It doesn't matter what my scale says tomorrow. 10 years from now, that's where I live. That's my new home. And it's like a freeing idea. Thank you so much for sharing. And something really important over the next 4 days, guys, is when one person shares, there's messages for everybody. It's not that I'm just coaching one person in that moment. It's that how can we apply this to ourselves? How can we say like, oh, ask ourselves the same questions and asking Ellen. Thank you so much for that amazing share.
Thank you.
Dela, Aliza, anybody else willing to share for a second about something that their future self told them? Feel free to come on video or to write it in the chat. Sorry, drinking. I broke my fast after driving home from the north today to be present here with you guys. Dela, go for it.
Hi.
How did you enjoy that?
I liked it. I thought it was good. I like thinking about it. Sometimes it's hard for me to kind of like truly visualize it, but yeah. It was good. I feel like it's a start to a whole bunch of these letters.
Yes. First of all, can we just like
So
everybody hear what she just said for one sec? Because even when I see my future self, it's still very blurry. And like I said, this is one of the hardest things but it's the first step, because you can't really go anywhere if you don't have a direction to where you want to go. So tell us
right.
something, please, that you saw.
Okay, so the main thing that I came up with was that this is like one step of many, not just the only step. And that, you know, like apart from, you're wherever you are in your business and, you know, all those things, like it's one part of, what did I write? You know, this journey isn't just about your food intake. You know, this journey is about how you are relating to yourself and how you are able to trust and to know, trust, and believe in yourself. So it's sort of
Yes,
one piece of the puzzle,
exactly.
I think. But I think it's a big one.
Absolutely. So how does knowing it's one piece, but a big piece, how does that change how you can interact with it? And what's one thing you see that it's a skill or a tool or something you're going to need to use to make that future vision of you possible that you'll have to develop?
So I think, I mean, several things. The main thing is there's that concept of being taken care of, and that concept of like, you're always looking for that person to take care of you, and then you realize that it's you. And that's kind of scary. So I think that's where I'm at and I want to be at, because by 10 years from now, it's not, oh, I know where my next meal is coming from. It's, I trust myself to get that meal and nourish myself properly. And I trust myself to provide myself and my family with what they need so that we can continue and we can be better. And, you know, and it's like sort of the same concept for everything else in my life, like whether it's business, whether it's family, and whether it's personal.
Wow.
I shouldn't have to freak out and worry and think that I'm not prepared, because if I'm right, I've heard that we are given everything that we need and we have it already. We just have to find it and figure out how to use it. Hopefully I figured out how to use what I have.
And if you have 10 years to achieve that, right? And all you need to do each day is to focus on small improvements, can you relax a little bit in letting trust be a process that is proven on itself every single day? And can you look for every time you fill your water bottle, wow, I did it. I moved the needle forward in trusting myself. Every time I thought about what I'm having for dinner in the morning or the day before, and like there's a plan of some sort, I did that. Anytime there's leftovers and they're in the fridge waiting for me, acknowledging that that's what trust is looking like in our real relationship. It's not these big moments. It's just constantly every day reminding yourself this is what trust is.